The foundation of my art really comes from my early interest in technology and science, math, and I kind of creatively, the first place I worked was in music. I've designed instruments that are self-playing, a guitar and a drum set, and they're MIDI controlled so that I can use any sequencing software and just output MIDI data right to these instruments, and the hardware can receive the MIDI data and then they can play all by themselves.
I work interdisciplinarily, so I'm working in different media, and it's usually collaborative and participatory and accumulative and builds and changes over time. A project that would relate a lot is this piece I made called Babel. It's an interactive sound sculpture that uses a manual typewriter that's connected to a piano, so people can use this interface that they know and understand, which is language, to create a musical event. We've created a robotic percussion instrument that's controlled by a series of step sequencer controllers.
This step sequencer design permits the children to program, in a sense. They're not doing something and it's responding immediately. They're making some decisions, and those decisions are heard in time. We designed this with 3 identical controllers that are positioned around the table, with the intention that three children can sit down and can really perform music together. So that the patterns, there's not just a pattern on one controller, but there are 3 patterns that are happening and interacting together. So we wanted to encourage collaboration.
That was sort of our main design challenge, was to create an experience that would be rewarding to the whole spectrum of children's museum visitors, from the youngest child to their grandparents, and rewarding all the way through.
We are really interested in how adults do interact with this piece, and one thing that we plan to do throughout the run of the exhibition is to invite musicians into the space to perform on this instrument, and possibly invite other musicians with other instruments into the space too, to use it as a way to create music. Designing a technological piece, the durability challenges are much greater in this context. We chose buttons that are rated for a life cycle of over 1 million presses. Things like that were things we were looking at in specs and choosing our materials. I think that in a sense the name Tough Art makes a lot more sense to you after participating in the residency.